All right, people, what is going on? We are here. The pick is in. The Seahawks are not trading, and we're getting a player here at 18. And I think the draft has fallen okay so far. In my view, there are two players that are definitely worth taking at this spot. So we have choices. There's cornerback Will Johnson, and there's linebacker Jihad Campbell. I think both those guys are awesome. I think both those guys are uber talented. I think they both have the ability to be some of the best players at their position in the league. So if we come away with one of those two guys, I'm really happy. There are some other players that I think would be fine, or maybe even like good, just not quite great. Guys like a Matthew Golden, guys like a Malachi Starks, even a Donovan Iziraku would be reasonable. There are some other guys we think that I think would be okay here. There are some guys that I wouldn't be super enthused about, but I would be comfortable with. So we have options. Still waiting for the pick to actually get announced. I think it's coming up in a second here. Worth noting, Grey Zabel remains on the board. Grey Zabel remains on the board. The rumor was the Seahawks wanted Zabel. Here comes Goodell. So let's see if that ends up being the case here. So here's the pick. Roger Goodell. Grey Zabel. Grey Zabel. Okay. Okay. Grey Zabel. So, first of all, that indicates the leak may have been true, which is not good. Let's just start there. I'm not saying anything about the player, just to start off. The leak being true is not great. But talking about the player, I kind of feel the same way about Grey Zabel that I did about Byron Murphy last year. It's okay. I think it's okay. I didn't think Grey Zabel was a first-round caliber player. I just didn't. I have too many questions there. I have too many concerns. But there are a couple things working here. Number one, he addresses a clear position of need. That's the first part of this. He addresses a clear position of need, an area of the team that we have not addressed for a very long time in a serious way. So it does represent some sort of changing of the mentality of the front office. And I do think Grey Zabel has immense potential to be elite. I do. But I also think he has a capacity to be not particularly good at all. So this is somebody I would have been fine getting late in the first. I would have been more content getting maybe early in the second. I just didn't view him as a mid-first round guy. He's very, very tall for a center, which is probably where he's going to end up. If he ends up at guard, I think that's a little bit more reasonable, but I don't know if he's going to be a guard. Most people think he'll be a center. If he is a center, he is one of the tallest centers in recent memory in the NFL. He's very athletic. He's a great mover. He's going to be great in a zone scheme in theory. Doesn't have a lot of strength, but I do think that there is some upside to him there. By the way, sorry about my cough. Been kind of flaring up in the last couple of minutes here, but I don't know. I don't know. I think that you could have done better, especially with Will Johnson and Jihad Campbell still on the board. But I do like the fact that we finally addressed the offensive line. I just don't know if this is the way that I would have done it at this point. This team has many more picks tomorrow they could have used to address the offensive line in a way that I feel would have been more value appropriate. The thing is, we know, here's my main thing here. We know that Grey Zabel is going to be not a tackle in the NFL because his arms are really short. There's no way he's going to be a tackle, in my opinion. I'm not even thinking about him as a tackle. So we know that. So therefore, he's going to be playing inside, either left guard or center, one of those two spots. Most people say center, some people say left guard, but he's going to be playing on the interior. The bar for success when you're inside, when you're playing center or left guard, is just much higher than it is for a tackle. If we had spent the 18th overall pick on a left tackle, like let's say we didn't have Charles Cross, if we spent the 18th pick on a left tackle and that left tackle ended up being above average, maybe bordering on good, I think that would be fine because left tackle is such an important position that an above average left tackle is actually very valuable. But when you start sliding him into left guard, that value starts to get a little bit harder to achieve. So above average, bordering on good isn't enough now. Now I need a left guard that's actually like straight up good. And if you're sliding him into center, I think that value goes down even further. Now I need the center to be great. Now I need him to be like one of the best centers in the league for me to feel like it was worth the pick at 18. So high standards. The good news is he's so athletic, he could be that. He could. I just think there's some stuff that's going to be in his way. We'll talk more about Zabel as we go along here, of course. I'm going to have plenty more to say about him in the coming weeks. But it's okay. I think it's an okay pick. I think we could have done better. I don't think the value is quite appropriate. I just feel like you could have done a little bit more to take advantage of the 18th pick. I think you could have traded back and gotten Zabel earlier, or excuse me, later. So I can't help but be a little bit, I'm a little bit not super hyped on this one. So we didn't trade back, so I don't think we're going to be trading back up into the first round with our 2 second-round picks. So I think we're probably good for the day, but Grey Zabel, what do you guys think? Let me know. I have mixed thoughts, but I don't think it's a bad pick. We've made plenty of bad picks in recent years. I don't think this is one of them. This is not LJ Collier. This is not, I want to say Jordan Brooks, but I didn't even know who Jordan Brooks was before we took him, so maybe that's not fair. This isn't D. Eskridge. This isn't anything like that. This is a guy that a lot of people thought was a first-round player, and even I thought he was an early second-round player. At 18, I feel like you could have done better one way or the other. All right. That's my initial reaction. I'll see you guys later. Go Hawks. Maybe I'll make a reaction video for whatever the Rams do, but that's probably it for today in terms of what the Seahawks do. So it's okay. Not great. Not as ambitious as I would have liked, but I appreciate the focus on improving an area of the team that really needs it.